Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to clean the coil on the XP Deus 2, and I really believe it helped the performance of my detector. So let's see how we did that. Well, hey, this is why I'm making this video. I've been metal detecting on the beach quite a bit lately, and I noticed that my sounds and tones and getting a little background noise all the time, no matter what I did with the settings. So when I get home from the beach every time, I take it out and I hose everything off, clean it down real good. And I noticed when I set it there to dry, there would always be a little bit of sand on top of it. And I didn't know where it was coming from. So I said, well, I've never taken the coil cover off and actually cleaned it. Well, I decided to do that. And it was just full of sand, and I imagine dried salt. It was still wet inside there. So I'm going, I wonder if that had an effect on the way the Deus 2 was performing. So when we went back out, I noticed there was a difference. It sounded cleaner. The tone sounded more crisp. There wasn't as much background noise for me. So if you decide to do this, or if you've done it, please leave a comment below and let me work how it worked for you and if it made a difference for you. So we're going to hop right in now and I'll show you how to clean the coil on the XP Deus 2. All right, to get started, what we're going to do is remove the coil. The first thing I'm going to do is take off the little rubber band that holds the sensor on that goes up to the controller. And I know it's a pretty simple part here. We're just going to remove this screw. If you remember, this thing only has a grommet on, a little rubber grommet on. It has this little spacer on one side that just slips out. That right there just slips out, and your screw slips out. I'll just put that back on there. And then there's a, once you pull the coil, the shaft out, there's a rubber grommet right in here. And this goes on the left side as you're facing down. And you always see, I haven't cleaned this, taken it off, but I did take it apart and cleaned all of this. But you get sand in these little places too, so I'm just going to put this back on there so I don't lose anything. So now we just have the coil, which makes it a lot easier. And to start with, you can just, this clips on, so all you have to do is start pushing it back. But what you want to make sure of is that you get it separated on all edges here too. So that's what I was afraid of initially, is that I was going to break something, but it just slips right off, and you can already see some sand in there. You just keep working your way around a little bit, and I can already see there's sand in there. And then you have to get on the inside too of all of these little pieces, and you don't want to push too hard. You just want to make sure that everything is loose, and it'll start sliding off. Got to kind of get your fingernail. Should have had a little plastic putty knife would really work great for this too. And but you just don't want to push too hard until you get everything released. And it comes right off, so doesn't take a lot of pressure, but you do have to get it over these, on each one of these individual ribs. Just get it loose, and on every rib it has a little groove that it catches on. You can just work your way around, but I can already see sand in here from just going out for a couple of times.
There we go. Now we got that side. Get this back off. It could take a little time, but I'm just being extra careful with it, I guess, just to make sure I don't break anything. Which is probably a smart thing. And then it feels like it's loose, but you can see the sand inside here already. And I've probably just, there's a little bit of water. And so I've only been out just maybe, I've probably been out 3 or 4 times since I cleaned it last, but you can see the sand all in the coil, and also the sand all on the coil cover, and also the sand that's on the actual coil. So what we're going to do now is just, first I'm going to rinse it off. Rinse off the coil. So what I was thinking was that all that sand and salt, and I thought it must have been making a difference, and I think it really was. So I'm going to do this regularly now, cleaning off everything. Probably every 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 outings I go, I'm just going to take this off and clean it, because it's very simple. But you can see the sand all in here, all in there, and just sand and wet all in here, and just, I mean, you see how much sand is in there. It's a lot of sand gets in there. So the last time I took a little bit of soap and water and just washed it really well, but since I just did that, I'm just going to rinse out all the sand and get it all clean all over. And you already see, I don't know if, since I waited a long time before I actually thought about cleaning this, if it turned it this kind of brown color or not, but I didn't want to rub too hard. I just got some soap and water with a little scratch with Scotch-Brite sponge and just kind of rinsed it off. But that's basically all there is to it. And now just to, I'll get a couple of paper towels, excuse me, and I'll just dry it off. I noticed too, where you put the little clip for the wire that goes to the controller, usually there's, even after I wash it off with the hose, there's always some sand in here. So that's another thing I learned to clean that off too. So I'll do the same with the coil cover. Outside's not as important because that will dry up, but the inside I get nice and dry. And this will help get any remnants of sand and stuff off, and just go around it and clean it off. All right, so the next thing to do is to put the coil cover back on. And this I found, I usually start from the back side here. Start from the back, and all you do is you get in here, but you want to make sure that these things will go over before you click it all together. So each one of these things, and sometimes in the corner, they can get caught and don't go all the way up there, so they won't catch on the little clip. It's like a little bevel thing that it hooks on. So these corners right here seem to be my problem area to get it to clip back up there, but it seems like it's going on this time very easily. And you just push back up in there until it clips. I just give a little pull on it all the way around, make sure it's in at every little rib point. Nice and tight. I just give a little tug on areas to see if it's loose, and that popped in, but that's it. Now it's clean, it's secured, and now all we're going to do is the reverse side of putting it back on. Just going to take our little our rubber grommet, and this goes in. It's facing the left side. There's a little space for it, so that's how you know that goes in there. Okay. Then you just take this, line it up with the holes and the coil, and then this little spacer, it's got little grooves on the side of it that match up with the grooves on the hole. You just get that in there. It kind of pushes in. Then the screw goes in from the left side. There's some little things over here that will hold the nut for you when you're tightening it. And then you just put the nut back on. I don't over tighten it. I just get it to where it'll stay in position. I like it to be able to move a little bit, but like to hold it there while I'm detecting. So that's basically it. Now I'll just put the clip back on. You can see there's some sand inside that clip, so I'll rinse that out too. I'll put the clip back on here and we'll be set to go. I sure hope that helps. I'd appreciate the comments down there if it helps you. If you can tell a difference like I did after cleaning the coil, might be something good to check. So I appreciate you watching, and I sure hope this helps. So if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and leave me some comments below, please, about what you thought of this and if it helps you out. I'd sure like to know if it helps you. And also don't forget to subscribe to the Spot Tail Digger, and we'll see you guys next time.